The Mongolian government approved the law on Smart Government Project Financial Agreement, which was signed between Mongolia and the International Development Association on July 9, 2016. The project's organizers have conducted research on Mongolia's open data readiness. Their assessment was presented on November 13th at the National University of Mongolia.
Open data can be very useful for journalists and for governments. Today, Smart Government put up a report today to see if Mongolia is ready to use open data.
The objective of Smart Government Project is to use information and communications technology to improve accessibility, transparency, and efficiency of public services in Mongolia. Assessing Mongolia's open data readiness is key to project's framework. The results presented on November 13th show that Mongolia ranks moderately when it comes to open data accessibility. The study was based on 8 indicators: leadership management, Mongolia's policy and legal environment, organizational structure, state accountability and competence, government data management, demand for open data, citizen participation, and the current accessibility of open data, funding for open data programs, and lastly, the nation's technology infrastructure and capabilities. The only indicator that was considered critical for Mongolia was demand for open data. The lead researcher for the Open Data Readiness Report, Dr. Amarsana, told MNB World that this is because open data is a fairly new concept for Mongolians and that citizens don't know that they have the right for more information.
For me, I have been studying and doing research on open data since 2014. And some of the words and names used in open data are fairly new in Mongolia. For example, data management, data license, and data-driven dialogue. In some countries, there are debates centered around the data, and participants interpret what the data means to them. And the concept for open data is very new in government organizations today.
Researchers stated that the open data can help improve government's overall operations and can benefit public at large. Specifically, it can help steer the government in the right direction for implementing policies and programs that are focused on public services. Additionally, journalists will benefit from the access to open data. Ms. Mukhmantagh from the Press Institute says she's hopeful that the government will provide access to more open data.
I do hope that within the next 2 years, some of government agencies will indeed make data, raw data, which would be available to the public, to journalists, to media, to use and to produce stories and information. So right now, some of government agencies publish information which is, produced from a special angle, from a certain perspective, probably from the government perspective, probably from a political perspective. So what's important for us is to get the data which are not produced, which are not processed, so that journalists can analyze on their own and see the data from their perspective, from the perspective of the public or from the perspective of the hidden issue which is behind the data. So.
However, access to open data only becomes beneficial when governments implement programs and projects in formats that can be utilized by people outside of government. For MNB World, Anand Tumurtova, reporting from Mongolian National University.